Talk about realistic signings, Rich. You've touched upon it there. I mean, Harry Kane, for me, I've said on this podcast a good few times, he'd be the perfect signing. He's a proven goal scorer. He's got 30 goals this season, which I'd actually argue is more of an achievement than Haaland scoring. I think it was 36 or 35.
Yeah, 36.
In that struggling Tottenham, in that struggling Tottenham team, the amount of chances City make is just incredible. And Kane's had to, fight his way in that team single-handedly, really, and he's been scoring for fun still. But obviously the news came out this week, Rich. Karim Benzema off to Saudi Arabia, it looks like, or it might be official by the time this podcast is released, and that's going to be a challenge in itself, because if Real Madrid are on the market, it's sometimes hard to compete with Real Madrid, isn't it? If United are really wanting to push for Harry Kane, you've obviously got Daniel Levy in the equation, who would much rather sell Harry Kane to Real Madrid away from the Premier League than sell Harry Kane to Manchester United, who are direct rivals.
Yeah, and I suppose it also depends what Kane's motive really is. Would you rather try win the Champions League with Real Madrid, or do you want to try beat Alan Shearer's goal scoring record? I know which I'd rather have in my trophy cabinet, to be honest. And
Shearer's record?
Tell by your accent which one you prefer. But it's an interesting one, isn't it? And again, there's so much rivalry in the transfer window. Teams can usurp you, come out of nowhere really to sign a player, hijack deals left, right and centre. And from United's point of view, they want to get their business done as early as possible this summer. It's really interesting what they do in terms of, I think striker is the most important one there, because Mason Mount, I think get him early is good. He settled then. That's established, that's done. But the striker is interesting, because what if United do go sign someone like Rasmus Højlund, Goncalo Ramos or someone, and then they have loads of money, and then they can go for someone like Kane. You've then got two strikers, and you've still got Marshall, you've still got Rashford. It's really interesting. There's so many cogs in all this, and I think that United, from my point of view, that they're planning their window with the intention that Tottenham won't sell Harry Kane. But I don't think you can move on to an alternative until you've given that a real good go, because him and Osimhen, and I still think Kane is above Osimhen. I know he's older, but like you said, he's Premier League proven. His achievements this season are ridiculous. On his day, he's not only the best goal scorer in the Premier League, he's probably the best creator. He's so good as a number.
People talk about their injury records, Rich. I mean, Kane's been injured less. He's 5 years older as well. And people talk about, it's concern with Kane's ankles, but he's actually spent less time on the sidelines than Osimhen.
No, and especially if you look at strikers in recent years, you look at Lewandowski, you look at Benzema, you look at Ronaldo to an extent, what they did until their sort of mid-30s, late 30s as well. That Harry Kane, I know people are saying you'd have to replace him in 2-3 years' time. I think you get 5 years out of him still. I still think he's that good that you get another 5 years out of Harry Kane. And when he's 35, he'll still be a lethal striker in the Premier League. He'll have to adapt his game, might drop a bit deeper, he might not move as much, but he'll still be a bloody good goal scorer, and that's what United need. They need goals. So I just think that until you've completely ruled that one out, until you've made bids, until you've tried everything to try and get him, you can't move on to an alternative for me. And that's the big one for me that's a bit difficult. You can keep your eyes on other players and have these backup options, but I just don't think there's another position on the pitch that you can go for. You can go for an alternative until you've tried getting the main man there. I think regardless what happens, you have to at least try and get Harry Kane. Until it's fully ruled out, I just don't think they can go for an alternative.